Hey folks, just wanted to take a few minutes today to do a quick overview of the ongoing feud between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Two rappers at the top of their game, and why are they going at it like this? Dating back to 2011 or thereabouts, these two guys seem to be on pretty good terms. In fact, seem to be friends and collaborators. Lamar had appeared on at least one cut in one of Drake's albums back in that time, and they subsequently both performed together a couple of times and seemed to be on quite good terms. For whatever reason, starting in 2013, things turned a bit acrimonious, and allegedly Lamar began lobbing, some derogatory comments Drake's way, and it became a tit for tat kind of situation. And from 2013 to 2015, it sort of ramped up, and then in the last couple of years, 2023 and in this year, it's really got pretty wicked. I want to say culminated, although we don't know it's over, with a drive-by shooting here in Toronto at Drake's mansion, in which a security guard was seriously wounded. This is dangerous, when people start, saying things about each other. And, the dissing tracks have covered, everything under the sun, basically, one's sexual proclivities, paternity issues, talent, um, heritage, black heritage, et cetera, and so on and so forth. So it's got pretty ugly, and neither one seems able to resist, dragging the other and reciprocating in kind when it comes back at them. So let's have a quick look at the astrology of all this. Okay, so here is the horoscope for Drake. So I'm not going to spend too much time here looking at yogas and whatever else that I usually do. Let's just take a very quick look. The primary ones, um, Ascendant Lord Sun, coupled with 10th Lord Venus, gives us one of these, Dharma, Karma, Adipati yogas, otherwise known as a Raja Yoga, which is quite strong because Venus is in its own sign and retrograde as well too. And third house is often quite strong for actors and other performers, musicians and so on. So that's a salient feature of Drake's horoscope. The other is this Parivartana between Saturn in Scorpio and Mars in Capricorn. So they're in each other's sign. Furthermore, Saturn aspects Mars, so there's a very powerful sambandha between the two of these. And significantly, Mars aspects the ascendant, which, gives Drake a bit, a very competitive sort of, personality, and may explain, some of the acrimony that's arisen in their ongoing relationship. You'd think that with Jupiter in the seventh house aspecting the ascendant, and the ascendant lord, mild manners and politesse would rule the day. But it seems that this Mars, well, it is very strong, and it does influence the ascendant. So there's the sort of fighting spirit, and you diss me and I'll diss you back kind of thing. If we switch to notice here, because I want to make a point of this later, Mercury, which is linguistic skills and verbal acuity and all the rest of that, language ability. Mercury here is associated with Saturn, which can give a dark turn to communications. And because of the mutual reception, the Parivartana between Saturn and Mars, we can in our mind's eye see Mars and Saturn flipping position, in which case you'd have Mars with Mercury. And again, that lends this sort of angry tone and a sort of a potentially, aggressive communication style. Hold that thought. Over in Kendrick Lamar's horoscope, now I worried a little bit about this. I mean, his birth time is quite accurate and is given as 3:04 in the afternoon. with a Libra rising. But notice here that is scarcely into Libra. And if this were just 1 minute earlier, it would be Virgo rising, which would put Mars and Mercury and the Sun in the 10th house. Mercury would form Bhadra Yoga. Mars would aspect the ascendant. So, I kind of wonder, I suspect that Kendrick was born just a minute or two earlier, giving him a Virgo ascendant. But, according to Astrodienst, it's a birth certificate in hand, which states 3:04 p.m. So we're going to leave this as it is and just talk around it. So, I mean, as is, this is a fairly, powerful chart. This, what's he got going here in his horoscope? Venus, Saturn. Venus is ascendant lord. Saturn is lord of both 4 and 5. So that Venus-Saturn mutual aspect forms two Dharma Karma Adipati yogas because Saturn is both a Kendra and a Trikonal lord. Mars and Mercury form another, Raja Yoga, lord of 7 and 9. And then there's a couple of Dana yogas in here because Mercury is a trinal lord. Mars is one of the money lords of the second. Sun, the other money lord of the 11th. They both pair with Mercury. So there's a couple of Dana yogas there as well. And meanwhile, Lamar also has one of these relatively uncommon Mahabhagya yogas, which is formed when a man is born during the day and has all three of ascendant, moon, and sun in positive signs. So ascendant Libra, moon Aquarius, sun in Gemini. He's a man. He's definitely born in the day because here's the sun well above the horizon in the 9th house. So only 3% of mankind will have a Mahabhagya yoga. What does it indicate? Sort of an archetype, of masculinity or virility or whatever. And this certainly seems to be coming out in this particular feud. So the interesting thing now for both of these guys, they're both in a Mercury dasha. For Drake, it only started last summer. For Kendrick, it's been in place since 2015, where this dissing competition has really ramped up. So I wanted to look at notice Mercury in Lamar's horoscope. It's with two hot, fiery planets. So Mercury is strong in and of itself, so indicates verbal skills and all the rest of that. Couple it with Mars and Sun, the two Kshatriya planets, the hot, fiery Pitta planets, grahas, you get a disposition towards, argumentativeness and debate and, calling out and dragging people. With Drake, it's not so obvious, but as I said earlier, Mercury with Saturn, influence from a malefic upon Mercury. And then because of the parivartana that exists with Saturn Mars, we can imagine Mars in Saturn's place influencing Mercury. And that's it. That's all for Mercury. There's no influence from any benefic here. So it's only malefic influence on Mercury. So they both have this propensity to get into, argumentative sort of situations. Okay, let me wrap there and go back to a comparison of their horoscopes via another means. Okay, so what I wanted to draw attention to here is this is a synastry grid. So basically, I've just created a 5x5 matrix here with Drake's ascendant, moon, sun, Venus, and Mercury. Compared to Lamar's ascendant, moon, sun, Venus, and Mercury. Now, some of you may have seen me do this before in the context of love relationships, where we use the ascendant, moon, sun, and Venus and stop there because, we're considering the standard comparison of three lagnas, Udaya lagna, ascendant, Chandra lagna, moon, Surya lagna, sun, and because in a love relationship, Venus is the karaka for relationships. So we include that as well. Now, this is not a love relationship, but I've left Venus in there and added Mercury because this is the protocol that we use for anyone who's in a business relationship, a collaborator sort of paradigm. So, but it's useful to illustrate here the larger picture, of course. Now, the irony is that, with Drake is a Leo ascendant and Lamar is a Libra ascendant. So those two have what we call a 3-11 relationship with each other. Count from Leo to Libra, you get 3 signs. Count from Libra to Leo, you get 11. So that's a so-called friendly relationship. Now, Drake has Moon in Gemini, and Lamar has Moon in Aquarius. So those are 2 air signs, and they are in a 5-9 relationship. And this is another one of those patterns that is, beneficial for, a meeting of minds and sort of sympathy with each other to a certain degree. Sun signs. Drake is Sun in Libra, and this is all, needless to say, sidereal zodiac, while Lamar has a Sun in Gemini. So again, 2 air signs, Libra and Gemini, and so Drake's Sun compared to Lamar's Sun is also in a 5-9 relationship. So far, so good. This is all fairly indicative of a benign kind of relationship. And, maybe that's what sparked, their initial sympathy for each other and respect for each other and working together, collaborating. But over time, you could see ultimately there would be no love lost. And I'm using that word intentionally, love. I'm not feeling the love. Nobody's feeling the love anymore. So if you look at Drake, he's got Venus in Libra, its own sign. Lamar has a Venus in Taurus, also its own sign. So they both have a strong Venus. But those 2 signs, Libra and Taurus, are in a 6-8 relationship. So vis-a-vis their respective Venuses, they are in an acrimonious relationship with each other. And therefore, we could say literally no love lost. When it comes to Mercury, we're talking about negotiations, communications, so on and so forth. And typically we would use Mercury, not Venus, if we were examining a business relationship. But look what happens in this instance as well, too. For Drake, Mercury occupies Scorpio, and for Lamar, Mercury occupies Gemini. That's strong Mercury. And maybe that's why many people believe that Lamar is winning this, dissing contest, because he's got a stronger Mercury. In any event, Mercury in Scorpio versus Mercury in Gemini, these 2 Mercuries are in the same sort of acrimonious relationship with each other, a 6-8 relationship. And that's why I've put these in red. Both the Venus-Venus comparison and the Mercury-Mercury comparison are in a 6-8 relationship. And there is a sign that there is, trouble afoot. And for both of them, because, Drake only began his Mercury Dasha in 2023, and Lamar began his in 2015 and will run it up until 2032. We could say that there's another good 7 or 8 years perhaps where this may be a bit of an on and off kind of war between the 2. But I just wanted to do this quickly to give you a sense of why these 2 don't get along. There you have it. Okay, that's it for today. See you another time. Bye.